She raised him, loved him, called him her son for 12 years, until one request shattered her world. When Emily's husband demanded a DNA test, she thought it was just doubt, something they'd clear up in a week. But when the results came in, they both went pale. What they discovered next didn't just change their lives, it rewrote everything they thought they knew about love, family, and truth. Stay with us, because what started with a simple test led to a truth no one saw coming, and more than just one relation that shattered. Please also let us know where you're listening from. It was an ordinary Sunday afternoon. Emily Harper sat flipping through a family photo album, smiling at baby pictures of Tyler when Mark walked into the room. His face was pale, lips tight. "I need to talk to you," he said. What followed were words that shattered Emily's world. "I don't think Tyler is my son." 12 years of marriage. 12 years of bedtime stories, school plays, scraped knees, and birthday cakes. 12 years of shared parenting. Mark reading bedtime stories while Emily packed school lunches, laughing together as Tyler made messy art projects, cheering at his soccer games. But all of it suddenly felt fragile. Mark's eyes no longer sparkled when Tyler entered the room. His silence grew colder. Suspicion had crept in like a shadow he couldn't shake. And now, standing in the middle of their living room with arms folded and jaw clenched, he dropped the bombshell that shattered it all. "I want a paternity test." Emily couldn't sleep. While Mark slept in the guest room, she stared at the ceiling, haunted by his accusations. Tyler was their life, their joy. How could Mark even think it? At breakfast, Tyler chatted about school, oblivious to the tension. Mark was silent. Emily's hands trembled as she poured coffee. And then Mark said it again. "We need that test." Emily agreed, not because she doubted, but because she needed to end his. 9 agonizing days later, the lab called them in. The doctor opened the envelope. "The probability that Mark Harper is the biological father is 0, he said. But then he added, "Emily is not the biological mother either." The room spun. Emily's heart froze. The world blurred around her, sounds faded into a dull hum, and her vision narrowed as if the universe itself had just yanked the ground from beneath her feet. Tyler, her baby, the child she had carried home in a warm blanket, whose forehead she kissed every night before bed, wasn't biologically hers. She had been there for everything. She was his mother. And yet, the test said otherwise. It felt like a cruel joke, a mistake too absurd to accept. She remembered giving birth, holding him for the first time. How could that be? Emily dug through old hospital records, photos, birth certificates. The times didn't match. Handwritten corrections appeared in strange places, some in different inks, some with initials scribbled beside them, as if someone had hurriedly fixed a mistake without realizing the consequences. One record said she had been moved to room 212, but she remembered being in room 208, near the window. The deeper she dug, the more irregularities surfaced, each one a crack in the foundation of what she thought was her unshakable reality. She returned to the hospital and spoke with Patricia Reynolds, the administrator. Patricia's face darkened. "There were mistakes back then," she admitted. "Staff shortages, disorganized records. You should talk to a lawyer." With lawyer Ryan Mitchell's help, Emily tracked down Donna Blake, the nurse on duty the day Tyler was born. Donna had been dismissed years ago and now ran a flower shop. "I remember you," she whispered, eyes full of regret. "That day was chaos. I always wondered. I may have given you the wrong baby." Ryan found another woman, Rebecca Lawson, who gave birth the same day. Emily met her in a cozy house filled with the smell of homemade bread. When they looked at each other, there was an unspoken understanding. They agreed to a DNA test. The days that followed were filled with tension and silent prayers. Every moment was heavy with the unknown. What if the results confirmed their deepest fear? Ryan called them the moment the envelope arrived a week later. The room felt both too quiet and too loud. Rebecca reached for her hand. They opened it together. Tyler was Rebecca's son. Logan, the boy Rebecca had raised, was Emily's. Emily and Rebecca chose to tell the boys. Tyler sat frozen, disbelief etched on his face. Then he ran away. Hours later, Emily found him on a park bench, staring at the lake. Emily's heart clenched as she approached, each step toward him feeling like a step into the unknown. Finally, his voice, barely a whisper, broke the quiet. "Will you still be my mom?" he asked. "Always," Emily whispered. Mark confessed the final blow. He stood in the kitchen doorway, arms crossed, eyes heavy with guilt. "There's something else," he began, his voice a cracked whisper. "I've been seeing someone. For 2 years. I want a divorce." The words felt like stones, each one heavier than the last. Emily stared at him, numb. Her mind struggled to process the betrayal. He had not only doubted her, doubted their son, but now she learned he had emotionally abandoned their family long before this moment. She didn't scream, didn't cry. She just stared, as if her soul had retreated inward. Divorce came quickly. Mark disappeared. Emily and Rebecca, once strangers brought together by heartbreak, became inseparable. What began as awkward conversations and shared grief slowly blossomed into a deep bond forged in mutual understanding. In each other, they found not just support, but a rare and unexpected friendship that helped them both heal. The boys, once confused and emotionally overwhelmed, found comfort in each other's presence. Tyler was quiet and artistic. Logan was vibrant and full of life. Together, they made each other whole. Emily moved to a new house with Tyler. It was a modest, weathered cottage on the edge of town, with a creaky porch swing and a big backyard. It wasn't fancy, but it was a place to breathe again, a space where Emily could rebuild piece by piece, away from the echoes of the past. It was there, while attending a parent-teacher night at Logan's new school, that she met Ben Crawford, a physics teacher with a calm presence and eyes that radiated patience. He spoke gently, asked thoughtful questions, and didn't flinch at Emily's complicated past. Ben didn't rush. He didn't offer grand gestures or hollow promises. Instead, he showed up with warm smiles, with books for the boys, and small acts of kindness that made Emily's heart begin to stir again. He listened, he understood, and most importantly, he loved Tyler and Logan as if they were his own, never trying to replace anyone, but gently becoming a part of their world. Emily watched the boys playing in the yard, their laughter echoing through the garden. Her heart, once fractured, now beat with peace. She had lost her husband, lost the life she thought she had, lost the home where laughter once echoed through the halls and the dream of growing old with someone she once believed in. But in that emptiness, she found something far greater, something no betrayal could take away, a son she chose every day, not out of obligation, but from the deepest part of her heart. A friend who stood beside her not because they shared blood, but because they shared strength, honesty, and healing. A man who offered her calm in the storm, not by fixing her, but by walking beside her with unwavering patience, showing her that love could be soft, kind, and steady. In the ashes of what had been, she discovered what truly mattered. And this time she built it not from fantasy, but from truth. And most importantly, she found herself. She realized love isn't in DNA or last names. It's in the choice to stay, to fight, to forgive. And Emily Harper chose love. What do you think of Emily's life story and Mark questioning his wife? Knowing he was cheating on his wife, should he have just left and not questioned who was the father of their son, but would it have revealed the hospital's negligence otherwise? Please share your thoughts in the comments below, and thank you for listening to Storyline Narratives.